Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at probably the best way to build Kai'Sa. Now, most people think she is a tad overpowered. The #1 win rate AD in Korea. Pick or ban, pretty much at higher ranks, and there is one build in particular doing way better that is the most popular in Korea as well. That build is Death Dance, Rageblade, and Nash's Tooth, and that is what we're going to look at today. First up, actually, Doran's Ring. At the top of the ladder, people are starting with this instead of shield or blade. Lower down, they haven't really changed as much, but I'm not really sure if that's because it's new and they just don't know about it or because they don't want to. It works for the same reasons as it does on Jhin, to be honest. This is what people would do and still do now. Your Q is your way to push the wave. It's the way to trade and control the lane because of that. Also, if you ever use your W, you're going to be burning through your mana really fast normally. So instead, they are going to take a ring and basically just deal with it. It makes a lot of sense. You get 2 potions to start with instead of 1, so you're able to survive a little bit even if you don't have lifesteal or the regen. I honestly think that kind of makes it better than shield anyway. More potions, more mana to push and fight with, and in theory that's better than the defense. Not everybody does this, but all the challenger games I have looked at recently have taken it, so maybe you want to give it a go and see what you think. But let's get back to the proper build. So what is this deal with this really janky weird build? Why would anybody stop using Essence Reaver as well when the cooldown reduction is just so good for a Q? Well, you can still go Essence Reaver if you want to actually. Koreans do it sometimes, but there is still one thing that stands out: Rageblade. The new Rageblade is amazing with Kai'Sa. It is so good with their passive plasma damage, it scales really well, and it is the perfect way to upgrade your missiles early into the game. Rageblade is amazing, we got that. Let's go back to the Death Dance build. So your Q and your W need 100 AD or AP to upgrade, and your E needs 100% bonus attack speed to upgrade. The problem with that is it is specifically designed to be a little bit awkward to get that much AP, AD, or attack speed with a normal build. We do just really want to unlock those though. It unlocks like another level of power for Kai'Sa and makes it absolutely insane. So this build actually does that. Death Dance is 80 AD, Pickaxe from Rageblade is 25 AD, and suddenly that unlocks your Q really early into the game. You finish that into a Rageblade and you've got some decent damage from your Q with the upgrade and your passive damage at the same time. Assuming you have Berserker Greaves as your boot choice, getting just the Stinger part of Nash's gives you the E unlock as well. You finish that into a Nash's Tooth and you actually upgrade your W. So with just 3 items, you suddenly have all 3 upgrades, but you upgrade your Q really early, which is so important, and then your E is like 2.5 items. Part of the reason I call this a Korean build, by the way, is because this is how they do it. In Europe and North America and the pros there, they normally get a Runin's Third instead of a Nash's Tooth. Getting a Runin's is fine. It still triggers your E unlock. It does a lot of AoE damage instead. It's a really good item on Kai'Sa and actually a really good item in the Essence Reaver build, but it also adds crit into this build with Death Dance and Rageblade, something the Korean one doesn't really have at all. That means that you can go into Infinity Edge after that if you prefer crit instead of like on hit damage. Basically, that is how it's split. This spot is really up to you. Koreans favor the Nash's Tooth and the on hit style, but we normally prefer the crit style. Back to the Korean build though, Death Dance will heal you for a ton on your Q damage as well. This is the reason why it's actually so good even in an Essence Reaver build if you want to slot it in as your lifesteal item. I'm pretty sure they did change it so your rockets are not individual damage anymore, which is a shame, but considering how much damage that does after it's upgraded, it still heals you for a crazy amount. It makes jumping into the back of a fight with the ultimate a lot more viable if you can survive after, with the bleed and the heal working together. Basically, your Q is a lot of your damage, and now that heals you every time you use it. Rageblade, as we said, is just a sick item for passive damage, and the new version is even better actually than it would have been before, giving her more AP and AD as it stacks, and the on-hit damage scales at the same time. So seeing as this build has AD and AP, both sides of that on-hit damage is going to get better and make you seriously hurt. Nash's and Rageblade is such an underrated 2-item combo, really. I started doing this on Varus a little bit, actually. Nash's has a scaling on it anyway, like a ratio, the same as Rageblade for the on-hit damage. It does 15 normally and then 15% of your AP on top of every hit. It already has 80 AP on there, so it just really hurts from the get-go, and together you get to apply the on-hit more and boost both the on-hit damage from Rageblade and Nash's with all the AP you get from 2 items. So to sum this build up, it's a really quick way to unlock your Q that makes sense as well and actually like flows with the build. It's not just like chucking more AD into an item slot that you're not going to be using for a while and delaying the rest of your build. You unlock your E and your W upgrades soon after that as well, and it has a ton of healing from Death Dance, especially from your Q damage. You also get extra damage from your passive with the Rageblade, which is really good, and a lot of auto attack damage from the on hit. The on hit damage is going to scale both on Nash's and Rageblade, plus together both of those are applied more from Rageblade as well. Basically, this build gives you everything. It gives you burst damage, it gives you sustained auto damage, and it heals you for a ton. After that, by the way, you are looking at things like Guardian Angel and Runins to finish it off most likely. You don't really have any crit in here. We haven't slotted that into the build. That is why I think some of you might not want to fancy this whole change, but then you can just adapt your normal build slightly. Essence Reaver into Rage Blade, and then Runins or Phantom Dancer into Infinity Edge. That would follow the same kind of pattern and work for the same reasons. Your Q upgrades very early, and then your E upgrades after your third item, and it just gives you like way more cooldown reduction, your crits as well if you prefer that playstyle instead. I guess the point of this video and the whole setup really is an AD item plus Rage Blade is your Q upgraded. Your Rage Blade plus Berserkers, and then the attack speed item is your E upgraded. The build has such good flow. It just really works. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe something a little bit different to try with Kai'Sa, but for now, I will leave you with the robots.